listening to the Stupidity In Your Ear podcast. Here comes the stupid.
What is up? It is your boy, Lazy Eye and Sammy D. We're coming at you with another episode of your favorite podcast on all the podcast channels. It's Stupidity In Your Ear. Welcome back, y'all.
Welcome to this week. We're going to give you all the tips and tricks out there to get rid of your lazy eye, laser eye surgery, pimple popping. It's going to get popping because we be zopping, and then we be taking floppings on the court to get the charge.
All right, moving on. Just kidding. If you're watching on YouTube and you can see that my right eye is basically completely shut, I'm trying to open it and it's still it looks horrible. It is so bad.
Did a goat lick you in the eye? What happened, man? I think it's crawling with pink eye.
I do have an actual disease, lazy eye, and astigmatism, I think, but it gets worse when you get tired, and I was realizing, like, oh my god, it is so bad right now.
Like, I literally didn't notice, but now I see it.
Can you see on the it literally, like, it's like actually almost closed. Like right now it looks like it's like a slit. It is so bad. It's kind of funny, but it's like actually terrible. That's gonna shut like way sooner than I thought. I guess if you don't wear your glasses or contacts enough, like it actually shuts. And so I'm worried that like 10 years from now, I'm just gonna not have an eye to look at. So.
Well, it's actually fine. I mean, it only looks really bad, so you're good.
Yeah, that's fine. If it looked very bad, it'd be cool. But
yeah.
So Sam, how you been, man? How you been?
I've been really good, actually. Mom and Johnny J came to visit, so they've been here a couple days, and it's been what's the word I'm looking for?
Horrible, terrible.
Lit, I think is that how you say it?
All right, guys. Thanks for this episode. We're gonna see you guys next time. Maybe Sam will not say the word lit again.
No, dude, lit is like trending now. It's like
lit is lit.
It's a fad.
Yeah. Anyway, so you're good.
No, it's been great. Just like a little taste of home, little whiff of the smells of home. So.
Yeah, like freedom, fried chicken,
and the BO of a 10-year-old. So.
Oh, sounds like freedom.
Freedom!
Oh, well, that's good, though. That's good.
Yeah.
Did you have this week off?
No, I have class.
Sucks.
So
yeah, same.
I got to write a very large paper on by Friday. So I think, actually, we're going to spend the next 40 minutes complaining about all the stress in our lives.
Or I can help you write your paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would be great, man.
During this podcast, yeah.
Thanks. Okay. So I would love to get your interpretation of Ezekiel 37, 1-14.
And then God said, "Let there be light, Liddy."
We just came full circle. Ladies and gentlemen, It's been fantastic. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for this week.
Buy some merch. We'll see you next week.
Hit that merch up. We'll see you guys next time.
Just for the next 40 minutes, we'll just continually just ending the podcast jokes.
They're never going to know when we're going to end the podcast. That's good stuff.
No, I really miss being in a country where I can own my own gun. So,
man, yeah. I personally don't own a gun, but I can think of so many times where I was like, oh, a gun would be so useful right now. Like, so I'm going to be careful what I say here. So anyway.
I would. You're in a minefield, buddy.
Let me tell you this story that happened the other day, which I'm not pleased about. And one thing that I hate about America, I don't know if it's the same in Scotland, but here's what happened. So
it's a bold statement.
My Mac has been acting a little bit weird lately. Not too bad, but anyway, I took it in to the place where they fix computers. Yep, that's what it's called.
Tanner.
Yeah, perfect. And so there's one time a while ago when I put my laptop in my bag, and I like.
Then you
pulled it
accidentally
out.
threw your bag in the lake. I remember this story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know that one. I was like,
That's a good
oh,
one.
this bag sucks. No,
It's
but
like,
I
oh,
hit
there's a
like,
crow flying around my head. Oh, hit it with my backpack. And then it was like, oh no, backpack's in the lake.
yeah, you know that classic thing where crows fly over your head, and you're like, you have to get it away from you.
Hashtag first world problems, man.
Pretty sure Edgar Allan Poe wrote a poem that was about that specific situation. So
Except instead of a bag, it was a chariot with a
yes,
horse.
no, that was Chariots of Fire. But anyway, so I pulled up my backpack and I bumped it against a ledge, and it put like a tiny dent in like the corner of like the screen on like the outside, so like it just like is a misshaped square now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I
not
took
a
it
square.
Yeah. I took it in, and Safari is the thing that's been like kind of messing up lately. It's just been weird. Safari is the browser that Mac prefers. Just for those who don't have a Mac or don't know,
Because it is symbolic of going on a safari, which is an adventure.
Safari on the internet.
Anytime you get on the internet, you have to put on one of those hats. You have to have lion spray to spray lions with bear spray.
Yeah. Spraying lions with bear spray. That's smart. But anyway, it took them about 30 minutes to figure out they couldn't fix it. But here's what happened. They, for over the span of 30 minutes, just bagged on Apple products. And I clearly don't care and don't know anything about laptops. The reason I'm bringing in my laptop, I wouldn't go to this random store that's super out of my way and spend an hour there if I knew how to fix it or knew anything about laptops or could try to fix it myself. So for them to like complain about things and try to act like I'm speaking their language, like, shut up. I don't care. They're like, oh my gosh, this would be so much better on a Windows computer. Like, you could fix this if you had a Windows. Like, you could just like look it up. I don't have a Windows. It's not applicable. Stop. Let me go or freaking fix it. It's just like, oh, I hate Apple. It's the worst. Oh, Safari sucks so much. I don't care. And they're like, oh, and by the way, like, you probably, if you want like your Mac to run like at its best way, like, don't drop your MacBook. I'm like, why would someone do that on purpose? And I didn't drop it. I glanced a ledge. But this point, I was already too mad. But anyway, they do all this, and I'm just like, fix my laptop. Just fix it. I don't care about all of this talk you're doing. I'm not going to buy a Windows computer. Stop. I already have a computer. I'm not going to buy a whole new one because you like that one better. Okay? Just fix it. And I didn't even fix it. So it was a completely wasted hour. I was not a happy camper. And then I was like, well, what do I owe you? And they're like, well, you don't have to pay us anything, but you could review us online. I'm like, oh, I'm sure. Just kidding.
Let me get on that.
Fix the internet, so I don't know if I can do it on an Apple's computer.
I think that scenario that you're explaining is one of the funniest. When you go to like a tech place, and you obviously are not well versed in tech, and you're not using computers and stuff at the highest possible level. So you don't need like lightning fast internet. You just need something that works for like schoolwork or sending emails or watching a YouTube video. And these tech people who like know their stuff will like preach at you about how Mac sucks and the Windows is the best. And it's just like it's almost like a way to like feel superior, I think.
I clearly don't use my computer for some super stupid tech gaming website or some stupid business thing. I'm using it to look on YouTube and see Emperor Palpatine scream unlimited power for 10 straight hours. That's why I'm on YouTube. I don't need it for something more than that. And so when you're trying to fix my problems with something else, that doesn't make sense. Ugh. Okay, I was also...
Look at my browser history. Alligator eats dog while playing bingo. That's not like, come on. That's all I'm doing here.
I'm trying to look up human-sized hungry hippos. I'm not trying to do some new business world thing. So stop.
I'm looking up parodies of human centipede, but with praying mantis instead of a centipede. It's not that difficult. Okay?
Perfect. Anyway.
Or I'm watching a video every time that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight while Luigi screams. Like, that's not... That's all I'm using my Mac for. Okay.
I know, right? Seriously, why do they want more?
Honestly, though, that video is so funny. Look it up. It's every time their lightsabers, it's like wah, wah, wah.
Okay, it actually reminds me. I had forgotten to write this down, but so I was at the car shop or whatever, and I was with my dad, and some guy came in, and he was like with this tow truck company or whatever, and so he started just going off like rambling, and he's like talking about how he's got this car and he's been fixing it up, and he's using all this verbiage. My dad and I are like, yeah, definitely. But it was like very specific insider knowledge of like engine parts and stuff like that. And like it's like, yeah, I boosted her up to a 480 kb, and I'm like, what? I have no idea. I'm like, yeah, no, definitely. He's like, and it's not street legal. I'm like, don't you work for a car company? Wouldn't you want to make it street legal? And I'm like, what is the point of that? And then he just kept talking, and I'm like, I literally have no idea what he's talking about. He was just talking to like flex. I'm like, you can't flex with someone who literally has zero knowledge or a care. I'm like, it was a good time.
It's funny when you end up in conversations with people where like the thing you should say is, "Wow, you really know cars."
Yeah.
But don't want to say it because that's why they're talking to you. So you just continue to be like, "Oh, wow, interesting."
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Also, the other thing that made me laugh is you mentioned flexing, and so like the new thing is weird flex but okay.
Yeah.
But I've already learned that's already phasing out as like a trend, and I'm like, I just learned about this 3 days ago. I have to be getting old. Like I'm starting the process of where I don't know what these kids are doing anymore. Man.
Have you not noticed that every time I mention something that's in the public eye, I always go, "Oh, you have not seen this." But anyway, and I'll talk about it. Have you not heard me do that before?
Yeah.
I do that every time I hear something. I'm like, "Oh, you have not seen this." But anyway,
we like. All the Young Life leaders, we like found out about it last week, and so we've been like cracking up and saying it and stuff. I'm realizing, oh my gosh, we are 30-year-olds at this moment. Like,
it was pretty funny for a little bit, and then it got annoying. But then they started doing like abnormal flex, but all right, like stuff like that where they change it. That stuff got really funny. But,
yeah, the one I enjoyed was like, oh, strange muscle contortion, but I will accept it.
That's great. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's
comedy.
Good.
I have
comedy.
It too.
Speaking of comedies, I saw A Beautiful Boy the other night. Steve Carell, Timothée Chalamet. Funnier than like some of the movies I've seen. Wasn't Steve Carell's funniest performance. I did laugh though a lot. There were some really funny scenes that he was playing off each other. Like one time where they started screaming at each other because he got addicted to heroin and his dad didn't know, and he like dipped out of rehab and he like was getting in trouble a bunch. And
oh, that's so funny.
It was funny. It was really played off very well. Yeah, it was. Trust me, it was very funny. And then
I don't know how he comes up with this stuff.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it was so good. It was like very tastefully done as well.
Right,
so
right. Well, like whenever you can make heroin addiction like wholesome family humor, I think you're winning as an actor.
Definitely.
You know.
Just kidding. It was actually in no way funny at all. It was a completely devastating movie. I left the theater just like, well, I'm gonna go to bed and never sleep again. So if you were a parent, good luck. That looked like it sucks. I'll just be that honest. It was a good movie though. Great movie.
Cannot wait to see that movie.
You saw Bohemian Rhapsody, didn't you? Did we already talk about this? Was it good?
I don't think we did. Have you seen it?
No, I was thinking about going to see it like tonight or something, maybe. Honestly.
Yeah, man. I'm not going to talk about it till you see it. But
is it good?
I enjoyed it. Yes.
Okay. Bet.
I'm not going to say more. I don't want to overhype. But
okay, cool. Well, I think the plan was to go see it sometime this week. I have a lot of movies I want to see, but
I know. I just saw the Fantastic Beasts movie last night.
Oh, really? I'm not the biggest Harry Potter guy. I mean, like, obviously, okay, so let me explain. My parents, should I tell this? Let's just say that I had a relative who, on her deathbed, made one of my other relatives, who is very close to me, made her promise that she would never let her kids read or see Harry Potter on her deathbed. So it's like guilt trip to the max. And so
that was an overreaction.
For the longest time, my mom would not let us. But she didn't really care about the movies. It was more like she was like, I can't break that promise.
Yeah, that's a pretty weighty promise.
No, I know, and I'm like, so but I didn't really like care that much. But I wasn't like, but I was like, oh, I missed out. But finally, I saw it. We saw it sophomore year or something like that. And we sat down and we watched all 8. There 8.
There's 9.
All 8. 9 movies just back to back.
Because the last book has 2 parts. So.
Yeah, I don't even know, but it was so long. It was good though. It just wasn't like a part of my childhood, which like would definitely be changing. Yeah. It was very good movies though. I will say, like I was shocked because I thought I wasn't gonna like them, but they were very good.
They're very enjoyable. I think so.
So I haven't seen any of the new Harry Potter ones or whatever. But
I'm gonna talk about this for a minute. I think it's interesting, like with the whole like stories that have a universe, like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Narnia. Those are kind of the big 4 in my brain. And I think it's funny because you really only have the capacity to really go deep in 1 or 2 of them. Like knowing outside of movie canon stuff, like all this, knowing everything essentially. And that's what was always Star Wars for me. Lord of the Rings and Narnia were close seconds. And Harry Potter, like while I enjoyed them, I never like was like theorizing and all this stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. I enjoy them as movies. The Fantastic Beasts series, the first one was good. I think it's just fun to watch those magic movies on the screen, especially with today's graphics and stuff.
Yeah, you can do incredible things.
As for the movie, I thought it was okay. It's like part of a 5-part series, so that's what I found that out. And this movie was and this movie was, I thought, while it had some cool parts, it was more just like a continuation of the plot, and it wasn't fantastic, which is ironic considering the name. Ooh, no. What I did notice about the movie was the cinematography was very strange. They did some really different stuff, like shot-wise. Like sometimes they would do a shot as if you were in the eyes of the character, but it wasn't like needed. And then sometimes they would do shots where weird parts of the character were cut out of the screen. And then sometimes they would cut between different types of shots really quickly, and you almost get like dizzy. And I don't know, it wasn't bad great. Editing. Yeah. I mean, I could tell there was a point to it because I noticed it, but I didn't why. But.
So there's this really great movie that was made in like the 90s. It was called Catwoman, and it's known for having some of the best camera angle editing of all time. I recommend that movie to everyone who's a listener. I think it's in IMDb's top 10 of all time movies, but someone fact check me later. But anyway, you said something about a 5-part series, and I remembered that what brought me up to. So you've seen Avatar, the blue people?
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen it? Oh my gosh!
It, man.
Christmas break, we're gonna watch it.
All right, that's game.
It's about 7 hours long, but it's pretty good. It's better if you've seen it in the theater, because it was the highest grossing movie of all time because the theater experience was incredible. It was what made everyone do 3D. Ever since then, people have done 3D. Yeah. But anyway, so they recently were like, well, we're gonna make 4 more movies, and so they decided to do 4 movies, and there's one coming out in 2020, I believe. But let me read you the titles, because the titles reminded me of the titles. I want you to comment on these. The second one's called The Way of Water. The third one is called The Seed Bearer. The fourth one is called The Tolkien Rider, and the fifth one's The Quest for Ewa. So they have been receiving so much backlash for these titles. Like, people are like, I absolutely hate them. Just looking up, I couldn't even find the titles. I could only find people making fun of them. And then one of these is the alleged Avatar sequel titles are awful. So here are 50 better ideas from Vice. And yeah, they're just so mean.
Okay.
But anyway, I thought they were kind of cool. Like, some of them sound like kind of cool. Like the Tolkien Rider sounds cool. The Quest for Ewa, I don't even know what Ewa is, but that kind of sounds cool. The Seed Bearer is a weird one.
Yeah, The Way of Water.
The Way of Water sounds weird. The next one is supposed to be all like underwater stuff. It'll probably change the front of that, but weird title names. And I'm like, why? It is strange, but I feel like you can't judge a title until you know what the content is. People are flipping out. And I'm like, the title doesn't really mean that a movie's gonna suck. Like for instance, The Last Jedi. That title freaked everyone out. Oh my gosh! And then it makes sense once you see the movie. Yeah, and it wasn't even like the point of the movie as much. No. Yeah. But it's a cool title and it works. Yeah. But anyway, people are flipping out. I thought it was funny though. But to sign on for 4 movies, but I hope they're gonna be good. They look awesome. You need to watch out. We'll watch Avatar this winter break. We'll do it. We have a lot to watch. I'm excited to come home, man. Yeah, I'm really excited to be back. It's less than a month now. I'm hype. I guess it is. Wait, when you come back? The 18th, 19th. Oh, that's not bad. Today's the 19th, so. That's not bad. No, I know. Sweet. Yeah. I guess we could hang out. I'll see what I'm doing. I'll try to make room in my schedule, but I'm pretty busy. Doing my other podcast. I have to wrap a few gifts for like family. Yeah. And then, I have this podcast I have to record with somebody else. Oh. Yeah, sick. Yeah. Oh, how was your were you on it? Did you guest star on the podcast? I did. It's not out. It's not out yet, but I was a guest on a friend of mine's podcast. Her name is Cameron Philippi. She is wonderful. Yeah. Has absolutely the cutest baby I've ever seen, and I will fight anyone on that. Absolutely obsessed with him. Yeah. But anyway, yes, I was a guest on that. I will find a way to let everyone know when that comes out, and I'll show everyone's that. But the Letting the Light In podcast, Cameron Philippi, wonderful woman, wonderful husband, wonderful son, just a great family. But anyway, you should check that out when it comes out. It'll be awesome. And check out her podcast as well, Letting the Light In. It's a good podcast. Anyway, I wanted to bring something up. So one of my favorite segments that I do here is my grocery shopping segment. Yes. I haven't been grocery shopping lately, but there's something that I about a month ago bought chips and salsa. Ooh. And I have a bit of a Mexican flair in me where I desire Mexican food because it's freaking phenomenal. But anyway, so I bought salsa a month ago, and I tried to open it the day of, and I couldn't get it open. And so I've been trying for 4 weeks to open the same jar of salsa, and I cannot get it open. I've been looking on the internet. I've scoured the internet for anything. Run it under hot water. Break the freaking jar. I tried to open it with a knife, like pop the cap off. I tried to do literally everything in my ability to freaking open this jar, and I cannot open the jar. I'm losing my mind. It is so frustrating. It is driving me absolutely crazy. All I want to do is eat the chips and salsa because I can't eat the chips because they're not good without salsa. And so I'm losing my mind. It is so annoying. I have no idea why I cannot open this salsa. It is absolutely maddening. That is extremely comical because the thing inside the jar is like something you want so badly. Gosh, I know. And like, you know how you get those cravings for just salsa? You need something sweet and salty, and that's the perfect mix. God, it makes me angry. Okay, I have something funny. So, Lauren, a while ago, told me about this club review that she read on like Yelp or something for this club in Dundee, right? And it was a 1-star review. Oh, bummer. And in the comments, it says, "Oh, what's up, Johnny J?" Johnny J is watching here. On YouTube. There's no explanation for this, but there's like a little kid just walked in the background. Hey, John. Like the or something straight. It's like a little kid just walks right by the screen. Hey, John. Hey, John. What was I gonna say? I don't even know. Lauren was reviewing a club. She went to a club and she was giving it a 1-star review on Yelp. Yeah, go ahead. So the 1-star review starts reading the review, right? And it says, "Fantastic club. Great DJ. Music was fantastic. The drinks were awesome. Had a lot of fun." And then the bottom line is, "But they wouldn't play Africa by Toto. I wish I could rate lower." Yes.
That killed me, bro. I thought that was the funniest thing in the world.
That's awesome.
That's really and then I saw this other thing. So my hall does like events, like for like people to have fun. I don't know. I'm so antisocial. I never go.
Yeah, of course.
But one of the events was pumpkin carving, and it said pumpkin carving featuring Rockstar by Post Malone.
Shoot,
I'm assuming that they're just gonna play Post Malone as the pumpkins.
It's like a 2-hour event. Just Rockstar.
But then I started to imagine Post Malone standing around with a bunch of English college students, like smoking, like with this like weird faces, and just like
of course,
carving, like, smiley face into a pumpkin and pumping a Rockstar the whole time.
Okay, but I could 100% see that because Post is straight up the coolest I've ever met in my entire life. I never met him, but I've seen him on. I feel like I know him though.
Yeah,
God, he's the coolest guy I've ever seen.
He's very funny. He's pretty genuine too.
Yeah, no, he looks like he's like the coolest guy. We have to meet him someday. Speaking of music, though, if you follow us on Instagram, I posted a feels post for if you're ever feeling down, you need a good cry, you need to just wallow in that sadness. I posted a playlist for you guys to check out. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah. I've cried several times listening to it. I think it's pretty good. Sam, have you listened to it?
I have. Yeah, it was really great. And I'm sorry to say that I also put a playlist up, and it was actually my mixtape. I put that up for you guys to see. And Instagram actually had to take it down, and they sent me a letter saying they were really sorry because they were actually receiving fire through the internet cables. And it was catching the Instagram headquarters on fire, and several people called and complained that their phones caught fire in the middle of their hand.
Wow.
So it's really dangerous. But yeah.
Well, thank you to the troops.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, though.
Yeah, and so basically what I'm saying is, if you guys want a copy of my mixtape, I'll send it to you along with the fire extinguisher, just for your own safety. Perfect.
Well, Sam, I have some breaking news for you. Millennials have gone too far. What? So the other day, I was in downtown Wichita, which is the most hipster place of all time. Hipster.
Watch out, California. We're coming for you.
Portland, you're about to get burned to the ground by ICT. Anyway, I was downtown, and my friend was like, let's go to this place. And so they have... No, I don't. I was kidding. I actually by myself. And so anyway, I went to this place with myself, and so I went to this place, and I went there. Just kidding. I keep saying I went to this place, and I said, how long can I do that? Anyway, we went there. I'm not gonna say the place because I'm about to roast it, but
to a place.
They had coffee and waffles. They had waffles and ice cream. It was a weird combination.
All right.
But their ice cream, I go up to order, and I'm like, you know what would sound flame would just be a normal ice cream flavor.
Yeah,
right. It was the weirdest stuff. It was like beets mixed with random stuff. But I think the thing that went too far was ginger chocolate. And I don't know if you've had ginger. I didn't really know what that was. I took a bite of it. It was ginger, and it had garlic. And I took a bite, and I took a sample bite just to see. I almost actually threw up in the middle of a tiny restaurant that was filled with all these hipsters. There was more denim in that restaurant than I've ever seen denim. It was better than a Levi Outfitters. It was that much denim.
Were there more weird, strange folk hats on people's head than you've ever seen in your life?
You know that James Bay hat?
Yeah.
Three of those. More denim than a Levi's Outfitters, and more glasses with fake lenses than I've ever seen. And anyway, I almost threw up eating this sample of ice cream that was ginger chocolate mixed with like freaking garlic. It was so disgusting. There was no chocolate. It was eating a garlic clove is what it was. It was like I just popped in a piece of garlic, and I was like, let me chew that up. Why would that be ice cream?
Well, I'm going to give you a piece of advice here, and I'm sure this is a piece of advice that you heard numerous times while in that particular place. Don't put everything in a box, man. All right?
I'll tell you what's not in a box in stores is that ice cream because no one would buy it. Anyway, that place sucks. They actually had this really good waffle that was that had a parfait on top of it. It sounds weird, but it was actually really flame. It was very good. Yes. And actually, I wore a flannel there, so I'm pretty much in. Yeah, I'm pretty hipster, so.
Oh man, I actually want to take a few minutes to shout out to our fan base. We have just a few like really dedicated listeners. And
tiny group. The smallest of groups. But hey, if you get in that group, you're gonna get a shout out apparently. So
exactly,
you guys should just become more dedicated.
Right. So it feels nice when people are like, "This show gives me a taste of home." And I don't know. I feel like this show gives me a taste of home, and to be able to provide that for someone is really cool.
It is. I think we're just doing a really good thing for people. We're so selfless.
So
anyway, buy our merch. Go ahead and just go hop in that Instagram bio, pop that merch off, and then we'll help you guys out some more. So.
Oh, okay. So we a couple days ago we did a Christmas light turn on thing in St. Andrews.
That's magical.
It was like kind of this event where like anyone in town could come, and so I walk up to this thing. And there's this guy prancing around on stage with strange hair and a weird plaid jacket on, and he's singing a bunch of random like covers of 80s songs. And somebody told me, like after like 5 minutes of listening to this guy interact very awkwardly with the crowd, that he was a Rod Stewart impersonator.
Oh, that's so weird.
Because I'd never heard him. I didn't once hear him sing a Rod Stewart song. And he was like trying to get the crowd to clap, and nobody was interacting with him. And then it gets down to, and then there's this weird like Disney character of like a character that I had never seen before. Not a Disney character, but like a mascot thing. Didn't recognize what that was. That was strange. And then we go to turn the lights on, and everyone starts this big countdown, and then like 10 strands of lights turn on. It's the most anticlimactic thing ever.
That's super lame.
It was funny, but yeah.
I was basically I was on the soccer team with some friends from my church, and so it was there's a bunch of us from like my church. Yeah, I love talking over the same point over and over again. So anyway, we had this like makeshift banquet that we decided to do, black tie, which I absolutely hated. It was kind of funny, but it was like not worth it because we were just at someone's house. But anyway, everyone was supposed to bring an item to eat, and so like there were some sides, like the main dish or whatever,
like hors d'oeuvres and
something casual,
potato
like
skins,
cocktails. Anyway,
pizza
so
rolls,
this girl,
pizza bagels.
Well, anyway, I'll say this: we had this huge spread of food.
Got it.
Looked very good. And so I sit down with my plate, and we're all sitting there, and I give a toast. It was very, very meaningful.
A rousing speech,
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so we're eating, and some of the girls start giggling, and I'm like, "What's going on here?" And
classic flirting right there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then I realized, wait, these girls, they're talking about me, and they're like, "Yeah, he is ugly," and I was like, "Oh, bummer." Anyway. Then
I already knew that. You didn't have to tell me.
So just like my parents. Boom. Got him.
Ooh, I know what I am, but what are you? I know what you are, but what am I? I got that wrong.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so you know that thing you do when you're like in second grade and like you pour salt in someone's drink, like, hey, try your drink. And it's like, okay. And then you try your drink and it's got salt in it. So they were like, try the mashed potatoes. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. So I didn't. And then, but they only told me. So then some people at the table started eating the mashed potatoes, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what? Why?" And so then I take a bite of mine, and it's a weird taste. It was sugary, and when you bite into mashed potatoes, you don't expect sugar, right?
Oh, you don't.
It was sugary, and it was a sugar that almost like kind of hurt. You know, when you eat some sugar, like kind of hurts like your throat because it's like you've had too much sugar. That's what it felt like.
Oof.
But then it also tasted like hazelnut, and I was like, that's weird. And then we come to realize this girl, her story was she was making mashed potatoes. She ran out of milk. They didn't have milk at her house, so she used hazelnut coffee creamer instead of milk, and thought no one would notice. It was, and I kind of see how she'd think like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but it was so strong. That was all you tasted was this texture of mashed potatoes mixed with coffee creamer. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was absolutely one of the worst things I've ever tasted. It was so disgusting. Andrea, if you're listening, why would you think that would work? But you're awesome, but still terrible. Thank you for that horrible, but good memory.
That's so funny, man. So, like, after you finished all the potatoes on your plate, did you get seconds? Or
yes, I was like, wow, this is actually phenomenal. Like, I'm a 12-year-old and I just need sugar, so anything with sugar in it, I love. So then I went back and I got my 4th refill of Mountain Dew.
Well,
and then
why would you get a Mountain Dew, dude? You gotta go for the suicide.
Yes. Yeah, and then I was like, let me get to some of that Sour Patch Kids cereal because that's going to be really that. I mean, How do you fight childhood obesity?
Yeah.
You dive right into the belly of the beast, and you make a candy into a cereal that they'll eat every morning. That sounds smart to me.
You know what this reminds me of? This is a pretty good story, actually. So I was at the local Five and Dime, picking up myself a nice Coca-Cola original. OG Coca-Cola.
Of course.
And I noticed that there was a special tax on the original Coca-Cola and not the other Coca-Cola. Upon further investigation, I realized that the British government was taxing me for buying a sugary soda instead of Coke Zero, which was 20 pence cheaper. So what did I do? Well, let me tell you. I bought as many crates of original flavor soda that I could find, and I threw them into the local harbor. Will I go down in the history books? You tell me.
The Scotland Pop Party.
That I dressed up like a Native American as I did it. So
of course, yeah, to frame them.
To be in disguise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Scotland Coke Party. It's classic. Oh gosh. I was in a restaurant the other day, and I was tipping my waitress, and instead of signing Calvin Pomeroy, I signed Daffy Duck.
Shake my hand through the screen.
She's gonna be so pissed when she reads that.
She's gonna be so pissed.
And then I tell my mom, she's like, "You just made that so she can't get a tip on that because you worked your signature." I was like, "Well, that's a bummer, but it was worth it for the joke." So I hope she laughed.
John and I were at a store today that had those little tiny hands that you put on your finger.
Yes.
Dude, we were dying. We put them in our fingers and then stuck them through the sleeves so all you could see was this little hand. And then we like shook hands and like gave each other high fives. And it was
awesome.
It was so funny. I felt like Deadpool. Remember when he gets his leg cut off?
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that because that movie, again, incredible. But then also there's an SNL sketch where
what's the
Kristen
difference between a sketch and a sketch?
A sketch is a mix between a skit and a sketch, and so it mixes middle school awkwardness with an actual like professional sketch. It makes for a very uncomfortable watching.
Cool.
But anyway,
sounds like an enjoyable time.
The sketch, there's like this basically like they've done it like 8 or 9 times, but basically it's like this 50s TV show like feeling, and then there's a host, and then he sends out like this. It's like a Bachelor feeling almost as well, but sends out this guy. he like is very attractive, and then like these sisters will come out and they'll like sing and like dance, and like they're all very like just like pretty gals like with like very smooth, and then Kristen Wiig comes out. Kristen Wiig comes out. She's got like this like bald cap that makes her hairline go up like so high, and then she's got like these like fake teeth that like are terrible, and she's like wearing this dress, and then her arms, she's got like baby arms like that she's holding on to, like make it seem like her arms are really weird, like toy baby arms. It's so funny. It is like, and then her voice, Ella girl's like singing like very like nicely. She's like, nah, nah, nah. It's very funny. Speaking of SNL, did you catch any of Steve Carell on SNL?
I caught some of it. I was crying, man. That was so funny.
Really?
I thought, okay,
his monologue I thought was funny.
Oh, I didn't see any of the sketches. I thought
the monologue.
The only part that I saw was when he was like, I would love to officially announce.
Oh, that was
SNL.
I was laughing, but then afterwards I was kind of like, I hate you. I hate you.
Really?
Because I didn't think I wanted a reboot, and then he said it, and I was like, okay, that would be amazing. If he was on it. If he wasn't on it, I would not want it. But when he said that, I was like kind of getting my hopes up a little bit. But I still do think it would not be good, and so I'm like, I think it's just that. But it was still very funny. Yeah. His sketches he was on, not great. And it wasn't his fault because he was funny, but the writing is so bad. The writing is terrible.
SNL's like 1 in 50 nowadays on funny sketches.
And that's what I was realizing too. Is I was like looking at like the classic SNL sketches. I said sketch again. Looking at those classic SNL sketches, like just completely different. Like those have lasted 30 years and they're still funny. And these are like they're so forgettable. Like they're not.
To be fair, like we only remember some. Like I feel like obviously not every one is as good as. Like Lifeguard or get off the roof kids or
I don't expect them to have like that type of thing, but it's still just like watching an episode is like not funny. Like the sketches are not funny.
Okay, have you seen the sketch? I got shown it recently. It's a really obscure one. It's with Tom Hanks. I can't remember what it's called, but he's in a haunted mansion or haunted elevator ride.
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of it. It's very bizarre, but I'll send you the link and we'll watch it after this. But
okay,
so strange.
SNL.
I'm sorry, people are yelling outside.
Oh, it's okay. You should pull a grandpa move and just go yell at them.
I can't yell at people, man. I am so non-confrontational with people.
I cannot imagine myself yelling at my kids because I can't yell at anyone now. I'm like, I couldn't yell at my kids.
Yeah. Well, I hope to one day be so disillusioned with my own life and sanity and the rest of the world that I can yell at children that aren't mine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I hope to get to the point where my anger is just completely out of control. And I really can't decide like who I yell at and who I actually care for.
Well, that only happens if you talk about your feelings and share your anger. But if you, what am I trying to say?
Hold that stuff in, yeah.
Right. If you hold it in, yeah, that's what you want.
Hold grudges, yeah. Form unbiased opinions. Yeah, sounds good. Perfect.
Oh man. So I think that was it. We just ran out of everything to talk about.
We just literally cannot talk again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every relationship has a point where it's just
kind of over
to talk about. So that's the end.
Yeah. So like dating relationships, friendships, marriages, when one spouse passes away. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Say passes away?
I'm so sorry. Well, guys, we'll see you guys next time.
No, whoa, you're done, man. That's not forgivable.
No one listens this far into the episode. I'm sure we're fine. If someone listens this far, and is offended, then I'm sorry, but no one is gonna.
Johnum, Abby, Holly, maybe Caleb and Hillard. I don't even know.
My mom. Shout out, Mom. If you heard this and you're mad, very sorry. That was not appropriate.
John listens. I know John listens. Paul doesn't listen. God, we let him guest star and then he doesn't listen. I hate him.
Let me just say before I go, let me rationalize what I just said. Comedy is supposed to be risky. I clearly did not mean that. So I'm sorry if I offended you, but let's just take a look at what comedy is. It's meant to ruffle some feathers. And so
Yeah.
that way I can be a terrible person and feel good about it. So anyway, guys, thanks for a good episode.
Yeah,
If you
thanks
think
for
anything
tuning
we
in.
said was funny, or if you feel bad, I'm going to donate some of the proceeds from our merch to old people. So go ahead
Old
and
people.
pop that link up in our Instagram
Yeah.
bio. Buy some merch for you, your friends, your family, your neighbor who just moved in. If you hate your family members and you want to reconcile, buy them our merch. Apparently, it looks very good.
Apparently.
Yeah, and then tune in next week, hopefully, and have a happy Thanksgiving to those who are in America, to those who are in Scotland. Enjoy socialism. Are you guys socialists?
How do you turn this thing off?